Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about creating a workout routine that works for you. During this time that we're having of uncertainty, we can all agree that we have a little bit more time, and how everyone uses it is different. Some people are cleaning, some people are reading a new book, practicing a new skill, and some people even want to work more on their fitness. So when I was brand new, I would just kind of pop onto my favorite YouTubers page and follow a workout that they did, which was so awesome because it gave me a baseline of where to start. But as I gradually progressed, I didn't like the uncertainty of not knowing what the next workout was going to be. Sure, I could go back to previous workout, but if I wanted to really stick to a regimented schedule of like upper body, lower body, full body, I didn't know if my favorite YouTuber would be posting after their full body another upper body workout. So I wanted to create this video to kind of give you guys a baseline of how to find something that works for you, that you can feel confident creating your own workout routine. So without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1, find something that you like to do. If you don't know where to get started, maybe looking at things that have encouraged you to move over the years. So for example, my mom really loves Zumba. So when I first got into fitness, I would just go to her Zumba classes with her and sweat it out and burn like 300 calories just from dancing. I think that's still my preferred form of cardio, is some sort of like dance cardio over running, and I'll still do that any day. In terms of finding other types of exercises, I would just go on the internet and look for exercises on YouTube. For example, I really love Gymshark, so I would Google Gymshark athletes and see who their female athletes were and click on them and see what kind of workouts they like to do and see if that was something I would like to incorporate into my training. There are so many different types of workouts, and really you can do any of them to lose weight, but each of them have a different sort of strength and why you would do them. So for example, there is strength training like powerlifting or weightlifting, and that's really to kind of build muscle. That's an exercise that you would do. It is good for burning fat because you replace that fat with muscle. There's also flexibility training such as yoga. This also helps with balance, can also help you burn fat. And guys, it's really hard. I've tried yoga and I'm not a flexible person, but I always feel a good balance between working out and stretching when I do sort of a yoga flow. And I'm still really new, so I don't really have other big pointers about it, but I feel good about myself and really empower myself in a different way. Another one is endurance training, so cardio, anything that gets your heart rate up and moving. Also another good one to burn fat, but maybe not so much for gaining muscle. Like you kind of want to be balanced with endurance training or cardio because it can burn fat, but you can also lose muscle if you do too much of it without supplementing with some sort of weight training. If you like all of these things and you want to combine all of these things, then there's such thing as functional training, which is a good mix of all three. Functional training is really cool because you can use these movements outside of just a workout. It uses a lot of compound movements, so it's another way for you to be aware of how your body moves and to really coordinate and focus on certain movements so that your body can work together in a fluid way. I like doing a lot of compound movements in my workouts. Those are just basically movements that work a lot of different muscle groups, and those are the basis for your heavy lifts in the future. Things such as squats, deadlifts, barbell hip raises, chest press, things like that that work different muscle groups. They're an efficient use of your time. They can be complex, but they improve your mobility and they definitely improve your coordination and your strength. These exercises should challenge you. They should be difficult, but not too difficult where you get burnt out and then you don't want to do them again. Really kind of get yourself in a groove of something that challenges you but excites you, because that's really what's going to motivate you in the long run. Tip number 2, make a plan. How many times a week can you realistically work out? Now, some people work out 6 times a week, some people work out 2 to 3 times a week. It just really depends on what time you can commit consistently. Really give yourself that time frame. If you set the time that you're going to work out is 9:30, try to stick to that schedule so that your body really gets into that motion of, okay, it's 9:30, I have to go work out. I decide to work out 3 days a week. Maybe I want to do 3 different full body days so that I'm hitting all the muscle groups in my week. I remember having to use a box for my squats. So my trainer would set a box behind me and she would make me sit on it, then stand up just with no weight, just me. And then over time, I would progress until I could do the squat all the way down on my own with no weight until I could get to a point where I could squat and squat with weights. Tip number 3, keep track of your progress. So for me, ways that I kept track of my progress was I would try to hit a new PR, and hitting PRs take time. I used to think that I would just be able to squat with 10 pounds and then the next week I could squat with 10 more pounds. And when you're new, it can kind of seem like that, where you progress really fast. But over time, as I've started to lift heavier weight, I have to be a little bit more strategic. Another way I've been tracking progress is by tracking different foods I eat. When I first started out, I was kind of just eating whatever I wanted to. I was taking advantage of newbie gains, getting stronger without really having to eat super duper well. But as I started to move forward in my fitness journey, I noticed that I had slimmed down, but I wanted to be a little bit more toned. And that really took a little bit more discipline, trying to get better with my diet and eating right. What I recommend when you're new is to write in a food journal what you're eating and just track it for a week and see the different things that you're eating. See what foods you can take out or what foods didn't really kind of satisfy you throughout the day that you can get rid of in your diet. You can also, instead of writing in a food journal, take an app such as MyFitnessPal. It's free to download on your phone, and in that app you can track macros. Now, I was told about MyFitnessPal a really long time ago when I first started my fitness journey, and I would kind of like track my food here and there. I think a big thing that discouraged me is when I would eat out, I wouldn't really have the tools to be able to plug in exactly how many calories I ate. That would give me anxiety, so I just wouldn't plug it in at all. What MyFitnessPal does is it helps you keep track of your macros. So macros are a way for you to track your caloric expenditure, or how many calories you're eating. But instead of just tracking the calorie as energy, you're tracking it as fat, protein, and carbs. You can set a goal of how many calories that you want to eat. So if you're trying to build muscle, maybe you want to add a little bit more protein into your diet. Before, I used to think
carbs are the enemy.
In reality, you need carbs for energy. Because you're able to track these 3 things, you can really tailor your food to last you the whole day. Being informed on what I do eat helps me to be less restrictive in my eating habits. Lastly, I would just say find a place that you are going to be training. When gyms open up, your local gym is a good place, but sometimes you may feel self-conscious about going in there. Just remember that no one is really looking at you. People are way too focused on themselves, and if you do need help, go ahead and ask someone who works there to kind of just assess you for the moment being. Pull up a YouTube video and watch it. Don't feel self-conscious that you have your phone out and that you're trying to learn, because everybody has to start from somewhere. If you're still working out during quarantine and if you happen to watch this, find a space in your house. For me, it's just in my room. I've cleared a space right next to my bed. I put my yoga mat out there and I'll start working out there. So if you don't have any equipment, know that it is perfectly okay. Use this time to work on your form and really work on those basic movements, so that when you do progress to using weights, you have a baseline of what's proper and that muscle memory of doing that well first. Like my example about learning how to squat, if you have a chair, I would just go ahead and grab that chair and practice squatting with a chair and maybe seeing how you can do without a chair. Those are some body weight exercises. I think it's so easy when we get started that we always have to feel like we do everything right the first time, that we have to have the best equipment to do things. But everybody has to get started from somewhere. Write down exercises that work for you. If you have a milk jug and that's all you have, that's all you have. Try to make use of it. Try to do different exercises that you can. If you have a book, put books in your book bag. If you have resistance bands, you can also use those. Those are a great alternative to weights if you don't have any weights. And I'll go ahead and link some of my resistance band workouts right here. You can find these on my Instagram, and I post some workouts on my Instagram as well. I hope these tools were helpful to you. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I post videos every Monday. Alright, that's it for now. Bye.